Mohamed Bamba was one of the highest-rated high school basketball recruits in the U.S. this year. Top basketball programs from all over the country were swooning over him. After taking longer than any other top recruit in the nation to make his decision, Bamba finally settled on the University of Texas, a decision that is expected to shift the narrative of Texas's basketball program.
Really excited about welcoming Mohamed Bamba to our program. Mo's got a lot of skill for a guy that size. He's very, very mobile. He's probably best known for what he does on the defensive end, but I think he's got a lot of offensive talent. He's got a really good skill set. He can shoot the ball, and we're excited about who he is and what he represents.
And here he is. This is a historic moment on set because Mo Bamba is here, becoming our first guest with his 7'8" wingspan that can actually pound it out on both sides of the set. So one here, look at that, and one there. Nobody else in the history of Texas Game Day has been able to do that until Mo Bamba.
Didn't have to move.
Yeah, about a year ago, you were sitting over here on your visit.
As a recruit.
Yeah, taking everything in.
Yep.
What you saw in that period of time, how does that compare to what you see now that you're in this Texas culture here in Austin?
I mean, you see what's real. I mean, you get here on campus and you think, you know, it's going to be like high school, but it's not. You get a reality check. And honestly, it's been great because you just learn so much about yourself and the people around you.
So what's the goal? You're here. You've got a purpose about you. What are you trying to achieve?
The goal is simple. It's to win. What's not simple is what goes into winning. And what goes into winning is doing things like the little things, you know. Shaka is real big on preaching, you know, small victories matter. And, you know, small victories is just like, you know, making sure your teammates are all engaged and in line with the goal.
Mo, I've heard from some of the guys that practice with you that you talk kind of crazy on the court. You're not afraid to talk reckless. How do you come in humble as a freshman, but still with confidence and swagger to make sure everybody knows you're here?
That's all Harlem, honestly, where I'm from. I'm not even going to lie to you. That's all Harlem. I mean, back home when we play, back in the King Towers, that's all we do is talk. I mean, some dudes are known for all they do is talk, and that's just something I wanted to bring in and have it be a domino, have all my teammates just like that.
We know Shaka loves communication. He's big on that. What do you got, Cory?
What defines a man in my book is really how he responds to adversity. How did you grow after getting cut from your grade school basketball team?
Wow.
I mean, other than growing literally.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Other than growing
How'd
literally.
you grow as a man, like learning from adversity, learning from mistakes?
I mean, I go through adversity every day. I mean, growing up in Harlem, you see things that you're not supposed to see, and you kind of just have to go through it. And you got a choice every day. You see these things, and you either become it or you become better than it. And I've decided to do things at a different level and be better than what's around me. I mean, there's this assumption that you are what you're around. You're a product of your environment, and I just want to be the guy to defy that.
I like to change that and say you're a product of your belief.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. I like that one. I might steal that.
I'll slowly.
Yeah, you know, I believe, at least in my case, deciding where to go to college was probably the biggest decision I made before
Absolutely.
the age of 25. And, you know, considered number 7 in the ESPN 100 from New York City. What made you decide to come down to Austin?
Honestly, during the recruiting process, it was a thing like why Texas, and then it turned into why not Texas, and then it turned into how could you not pick Texas? I mean, the platform that you get here is unlike anywhere else, and this is one of the biggest stages in America, and this is where I wanted to be.
You're different, right? We've seen top-ranked guys go to major programs in the past. There's been some highly recruited guys end up here in Austin. But you're already being talked about as a guy that is in contention to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft. And I know. But from what I've heard, that's something that's a goal of yours. That's something that you don't lose sight of and don't kind of skirt around the issue.
Absolutely.
What do you think about when you think about the draft and trying to become that #1 pick?
I mean, while I was at Westtown, Seth Berger, our coach, crazy, but Seth Berger, our coach, he was real big on preaching, you know, it's nice to be the #1 pick, but 5 years from the draft, you want to be the best guy in that draft, and that's what he envisioned with me. And obviously, one of my goals for the rest of this year is going to be to be the #1 pick. But you want to be the best guy in your draft.
If you could take something away from TJ Ford and KD and put them inside you, what would those things be?
Just to make it last. I mean, college, it doesn't last forever, especially if you're especially having the goals that I have, is to make it last and to live through the experience.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
19. It's always humbling to meet a 19-year-old that's more mature than you are. And I think Mo Bamba certainly passes that test. Mo, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you out on the court.
Thank you very much. Looking
Coming
forward
up,
to be out there.
doing his thing. You'll see him for the first time Wednesday, October 18th. The Texas tip-off will be live, bringing it to you. Starting with Texas Game Day at 6:30 Central Time. Catch it all right here on Longhorn Network.